Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. We thought it was fitting, with only 86 days until Taylor touches down in Australia, to do our next edition of the EduKate podcast, where you girls, Jess and Lizzie, educate me on everything Taylor Swift in the lead up to that exciting moment in 2024. Now, I'm flying blind here today. I have no idea really what we're talking about, but I do know that there is an interview floating around there with Taylor's fella, Travis Kelce, and it's got people talking and I should know about it. Are we loving the interview or are we not? And tell me all about it.
Well, we are and we aren't. Everyone loves Travis, like I think we all do here. I think he's definitely taken the prize as, the crown as her favourite boyfriend ever so far. But he's done an interview for the Wall Street Journal, which I don't even really understand why.
No, I mean, I suppose we stop down at this point and we say he does have his own career. He's done media before her. He'll do media well into the future. So it makes... Look, he's talking for a reason, not just on that.
No.
But there has been a lot of interviews and also his parents have spoken on the relationship. I'd love to know what this article says and then we can delve into if this is a little bit unprecedented for Taylor and her beaus.
It's totally bizarre in the sense that I don't think we've ever seen a partner of Taylor's talk this openly and candidly about dating her.
Yeah,
especially so early on.
Well, isn't this what we like about him, though?
Yes.
I mean, because I don't know where you're going with this, but part of why I love Travis Kelce and why it's the moustache.
Who you learnt about 2 months ago.
I know. You know that guy that plays for the Chiefs. I just love everything about him. But I do think the one thing that is a standout for me, regardless of whether he happens to be dating Taylor Swift, is that we've met a guy in the media who is so openly into his girlfriend. He has a massive career of his own. He doesn't seem threatened by her. He says great things about her. I think there was a line once upon a time where he said something about Taylor's so great, we all love her, we should look out for her or protect her. And I thought, oh my goodness, you've just won 1,000 points. And then I bought a poster and put it on my wall.
Okay.
So there's been all that stuff. And I guess we're talking about the interviews now because he's, like you said, he's done thousands of interviews before.
So he starts the interview by saying, I don't know if I should get into all of this. So straight off the bat, it's like, okay, we've been warned. He doesn't know if he should be doing this. But off he goes. So essentially, he tells the story of how they met because as we thought, he gave her the friendship bracelet, she didn't reach out, yada, yada, yada. But what actually happened was that he reached out to her family when she was performing at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas and kind of got them in his corner a bit, buttered them up, introduced himself. And so he made sure that, she had the big locker room. He made sure that, he says here, I had somebody playing Cupid. There were definitely people she knew who I was in her corner who would say to her, did you know he's coming tonight? So he was planting the seeds very early on.
Let me just, I need to ask, when we say that he was contacting the family, the family is also on her team.
That's right.
Or like her management team or a producing team or whatever it is. So it's not that they've just rocked up to Taylor's house or home childhood home and contacted mum and dad. It would make sense for them to maybe go through mum and dad to organise somewhere for her to sit, etc. Would that make sense?
That does make sense, yeah, because her mum Andrea is on the management team.
Yeah.
Can I say, for an NFL player, every game, everything they do is from a playbook. This is one from the playbook,
He's
isn't
playing
it?
the
To get
game.
in early with the family.
And he even says, she'll probably hate me for saying this, but when she came to Arrowhead Stadium, they gave her the big locker room as a dressing room, and I made sure that her little cousins were taking pictures in front of my locker.
Play number 2 from the book.
Oh, wow.
He's a
Success.
mastermind. Then he says, when I met her in New York, we had already been kind of talking, so I knew that we could have had a nice dinner and like a conversation. And what goes from there will go from there. But I think this is the best part about it, which speaks back to your point that you mentioned earlier about how supportive he is of her, how much he loves her, adores her. He explained that his whole family and him were kind of taken aback at the beginning and a bit unsure of how to handle the crazy media attention. because he says, I've never dated anyone with that kind of aura about them before. I've never dealt with it. But at the same time, why would I run away from it? I'm not running away from it. The scrutiny she gets, how much she has a magnifying glass on her every single day, paparazzi outside her house, outside every restaurant she goes to, after every flight she gets off, and she's just there living, being beautiful and enjoying life. When she acts like that, I better not be the one acting strange.
See, here's a guy who just gets it, right?
How beautiful.
But is he
for real?
Okay. Now, I'm going along with this with you, and when he says that she's just beautiful and she's just being herself, I'm falling in love even more with Travis, and I really want this all to be great. Is it all very sincere, we think? Or is, like, for him to say, I don't know if Taylor would want me to say this. Previously, I would have thought that anything that anyone says about Taylor has been run by Taylor.
I feel like we're in uncharted waters. This has never really happened before, where she's dated someone and allowed them, I shouldn't say allowed, but you know what I mean.
No, but let's be honest, everything is micromanaged.
Yeah.
And because it's important. She's got an important brand to protect.
That's right. And I feel like this is what sticks out to me. She's had these relationships. We know that she was with Joe for 6 years. She then very publicly dated Maddie Healy from the 1975. It didn't, last very long. They're just hanging out. That's fine. But those two relationships didn't work, right? Including the long-term relationship where they were so private. He had a, media profile, big or small. I'll let you take your pick. And he never really said anything. He said, we just like our privacy. For her then to do this huge 180 and this guy that she's only been dating for such a short amount of time to be able to speak this openly, I think she's throwing out the rule book and she's saying it hasn't worked in the past the way I've done it and I've guarded it. Let's just be public. Let's have fun. Let him say whatever. If we're going to break up, we're going to break up. If we're together, we're together. But, I can't keep doing this where I guard it for so long because it's not good for my mental health. I feel like I'm not bejeweled anymore when they don't talk about me in public. And let's see what the new guy does.
And also, she's probably a bit like, I'm about to turn 34. Am I really... do I want to be living this way still at 34?
Let's give it a whack.
Yeah, I need to kind of own this a little bit more. Who cares what people think?
And as we saw in that video where she ran up to him and gave him a kiss, I feel like she's very on board with him being so open about her.
Maybe they've known each other for a lot longer and we will never know.
I think that's what is so baffling is that we're seeing this play out in real time. So, when he's saying we went to New York and had that date or whatever, we saw that.
Yeah, we saw the pics.
That's why it's confusing because we're finally being let in at the time that it's happening.
When we've only really been let in very much delayed after the fact.
Yeah, and sometimes via the lyrics. I think what's most exciting about this is there's going to be a great album in it. And if we don't know the truth now, we will then.
Yeah.
Can I just end this by saying Travis has some old tweets resurfaced from him.
Oh, Jess.
Now, when a celebrity's old tweets resurface, that's probably the last you've seen of that celebrity, right? Because they're in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Can I just please tell you, this is the relationship level that we're dealing with in terms of lyricism. He tweeted back in April 2011, I just gave a squirrel a piece of bread and it straight smashed all of it. I had no idea they ate bread like that. Haha, hashtag crazy. Whereas she has given us lyrics such as, and I was never good at telling jokes, but the punchline goes, I'll get older, but your lovers stay my age. From when your Brooklyn broke my skin and bones, I'm a soldier who's returning half her weight. But hey guys, that squirrel straight up smashed.
Crazy. Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.
It's giving golden retriever puppy energy. Like, he's such a golden retriever. Like, the most he thinks about is giving a squirrel a piece of bread. I love that.
Are you calling him vacant?
I mean, I would love a vacant man. Don't have any thoughts, just love me.
Well, exactly right.
You know?